Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another Pygame video tutorial for Bucking the New Boston from youtube.com/Santex. What we're going to do in this video is kind of transition into another topic. So first I covered how we could have like two objects crossing over when they're exactly the same size. So with this game of Snake, we got lucky with that, so we were able to do that. But in a lot of games, you're not going to get so lucky. And there's going to be times where maybe you're, like, for example, what we just showed was that if our snake is, for example, smaller, the question is, did we cross over at any part of that box? So, like this, did we cross over at any point of that box? Yes, 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 and all that. So that's great. But the other question, though, is, so our snake moves in intervals of 10. And so because of that very structured movement, we know that we'll always be either completely outside of that box or we'll be completely inside that box. We'll never be like the box is here and the square is here and it's hitting like this, like part of the snake is hitting the apple. We'll never really have an event like that. So what happens when you do, though? Because again, in a lot of games, there's no such thing as like the game just knows, hey, there's an impact, or because these two objects are overlapping each other. So what we have to do is actually code in handling that, takes the shape and the dimensions of that shape, and you just decide logically with math, are they crossing? So what kind of code do we need when they're crossing over? And that's what we're going to be getting into. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to change with this script. First of all, I was noticing that we were having some trouble basically on the game over part. So we were having, let's see, game X equals true. So yeah, right. So probably, let's see, when we're running our snake around, let me just show you what I mean. So we get off of the screen, and I think it was yeah. So we're hitting the X button, but nothing's actually happening. So but if we hit Q, we do get an exit. So why is that occurring? Well, this question is, while game over is true, we run this stuff right here. So if I'm not even seeing the quit event, because that's down here. So I'm not even seeing that we have a quit event at all here. So like what we would do is if event.type equals pygame dot and then all caps quit. If that's the case, then what do we want to do? Well, initially we would say, right, game exit equals true, but we also need to say game over equals false. So we get out of this loop and we get out of this loop. Now the question that I will pose is, why can't we do it this way? Why couldn't you ask why couldn't you say game over equals false and then game exit equals true? Well, as soon as we set game over equals false, will we actually exit the game? So let's go ahead and save and run that just for our own purposes. So we'll pray in, yay, and then we hit the exit and we were able to exit. So it does not really matter if you put game over game exit or vice versa. So some people might ask, well, when does the loop actually break? Like, are we going to break mid-if statement or not? And if you wanted to break mid-if statement, you really could. You could throw a break here, right, and that will stop the statement from running. So sometimes you can ask questions and then insert a break if it's the case. But anyway, it won't really matter. So just because you ran game, it's going to set game over equals false and game exit equals true. And then, so no matter what, we'll exit the game. So now we're able to, play the game, run off the screen, and actually exit in both ways, either hitting Q or hitting the X on the window. So now that we've got that, the next thing I wouldn't mind changing here now is we've got in the definition of randAppleX and randAppleY. Let's go ahead and stop these from dividing it, because we were trying to get them to always be like a multiple of 10. So now I'm going to get rid of that code as well. So it's going to take two parentheses, I believe. Oh no, just one, I suppose. Let me see. Yeah, that should be fine. So just one extra parentheses, and then we can comment out You can delete this if you want. I like to leave commented code sometimes there just because it's really easy to comment that section out. And if I ever wanted to go back to it, I can just uncomment it. So sometimes I leave code commented out for a while before I actually fully delete it. So we'll leave that one there. And then we also have another definition of redefining Apple, I believe. Right, that's down. Well, is it? Yeah. Okay. So we'll do the same thing here. So parentheses comment, and then again parentheses comment out, and that should be it. So now our apple doesn't, always spawn in the same exact location, or like as a multiple of 10 basically. And you'll see that we're still able to, actually that time I don't think we actually were supposed to have gotten the apple at that point. Let me try that again. Yeah, okay. Anyway, okay. So now they've made those few changes, what we're going to be doing in the next video is actually we're going to make our snake larger, and we'll see kind of the problem that arises when we do that, because now it's not just as one object within another object, we're asking, are we like partially touching those objects? So now you've got quite a few more if statements that you're going to need to add to cover, are we fully within? That's fine, we've got that covered. Are we partial, one object in, the other one? That's fine, we've got that covered. But we don't know, what if we're just grazing it? And not only are we grazing it on either left or right, but top or bottom as well. So that's what we're going to be covering in the next video, or maybe even the one right after that one. Probably the next video though, how to handle that situation. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned to the next video.